Our next talk is about cutting an e-commerce application cloud costing by 70%, and it would be delivered by Mohammad Mizanur Rahman. Rahman is a partner of BrainStation 23 Limited and holds an experience of over 16 years in the field of technology. Rahman is also a huge cloud enthusiast and has achieved AWS ATEX certifications and supported in building the community of AWS developers of Bangladesh. Let's put our hands together to welcome Rahman. All yours, Rahman.
Yep. Thank you very much, Dolly. So first of all, I'd like to thank the ACD team, for organizing this awesome event. I'm really enjoying it. Like the last event, it was really helpful for a lot of people who are managing AWS in a different organization. So yeah. So about so let me share my screen. I hope you can see my screen. So initially I thought I should solely focus on e-commerce, but I see that if I can make it a little bit general so that it can align with a different kind of application as well, which might be helpful for a lot of people. I'm quite sure a number of people, you are already acknowledged about different process, how you can cut the price of cloud hosting. In Dhaka, Bangladesh, in Bangladesh, we see that lots of people, they would like to go into cloud, they would like to adopt cloud, but due to the proper kind of knowledge or proper kind of activities, the cloud bill gets really high. So I thought it would be really a more appropriate kind of session to enlighten that cloud is not expensive. Rather, we need to leverage the different possibilities with cloud, which can even reduce the cost than traditional hosting. So about me, I'm Mohammad Mizanur Rahman, working as a CTO and partner in BrainStation 23. So we are 550 plus people company located in Dhaka, Bangladesh. And we are solely technology company working since 2006. And we are also advanced partner of AWS. And personally, I am really a cloud enthusiast. Like I started working in started with Rackspace, then other cloud platform, then I am a big fan of AWS, and which inspired me to go for ATEX certification in AWS. And along with that, I am a co-initiator as well of AWS User Group Bangladesh. Right now, we do have more than 4,000 people there, where we try to help each other so that we can have a strong community, and so that the knowledge, the learning we are having in doing different cloud activities, that can be shared and we can help each other. And this is very important because in India, we know that there are a strong hub there, but in Bangladesh, we came to know that there will have office very soon. So we are very excited to have more strong presence over here of AWS, and seriously looking forward. So what happens that whenever normally the traditional application, most of the time we try to host in EC2, I mean VM, and what we have seen in different cases, that people are not acknowledged, or people are not properly calculating how they can reduce the cost if if they can seriously look into cutting the cost. What we have seen that many people, they are running the EC2 instance for in on demand for quite long time, like 2 years, 3 years, but they do know that they do have a predictable use case, and they can easily go for different option. And also on top of that, uh, there are cases where they can go for more aggressive kind of option like Esport instance. So here there is a bar where it is shown like the comparable pricing kind of capacity. Like here you see that in on demand the pricing is quite high. Then if I go for reserve, then it is little bit lower, and if I go for Esport, it is even much lower. So so definitely for different business case, different business application, we need to define like how we would like to leverage different option in perspective of EC2. And regarding the cost optimization part, I tried to come up with few options which we can look into whenever we are thinking about reducing the cost. One thing is like use the minimum principle. This is very important that we start with the smaller. Sometimes what happens that we start with like a big one, and we see that the resources are not being used properly, and we are having lots of bill down the line. So this is very important that we start smaller and we get bigger in course of time. That can be manual, that can be automated, but start smaller. And so for instance, like whenever we see that this is a case where we can start with maybe kind of T2 small, we can start with T2 small. If we see that, okay, that is not serving the purpose, we can go to the next level. That is very important, and we can scale accordingly. And another thing is like going for the right kind of instance. Like you know that a few type of instances are compute for compute, few are for memory intensive, few are for kind of high IO. So we need to make sure that we are utilizing the right kind of instance for our purpose. Sometimes what happens that due to using wrong kind of instance, we are number one, the performance gets lower, and also the potential cost also gets higher. So that is very important to look into. And coming back to the last point, like so select proper resource, that is very important. We need to use auto scaling. Like what happens that if I look into some cases, like you will see that for many business cases, if I look into e-commerce, like if I consider over here, uh, on an average, the traffic is consistent, but whenever there is different festivals like Eid festivals or different events where people are more interested to buy different stuffs, then the spike gets really high. So this is very important that we make sure that we are keeping we do have auto scaling capacity, and it does scale according to the need, so that whenever it is not needed, it can scale to lower resource automatically. And uh, another thing is like serverless capacity and container. Like what we have seen that most of the time over here, many companies, they do go for they are a little bit skeptical or not confident enough to go for container based kind of deployment or serverless kind of capacity. Uh, so one of the key reason is that maybe what we have seen, that not having enough people, enough capable people into the company. So this is very important that we do leverage this capacity, which can potentially scale really scale properly, and also the overall costing can be like really low if I consider about the traditional hosting, I mean the on-demand hosting kind of capacity. So now like AWS is offering lots of different services to manage your container, to make sure you can and it can, and AWS is managing that as well on behalf of you. So this is very important that we do know about these offerings, and we do leverage that. And like about in Lambda is like a very hot topic, like it has been hot topic for quite long time. So what we have seen that many companies, they do have, for instance, an application, and few of the services, few like for the mobile application, maybe a lot of people they are using mobile application. So whenever they are going for a kind of serverless kind of capacity, so what happens that no matter what's the number of users there, basically it can scale automatically, and you don't need to have the headache like how it should scale, and how you can accommodate right kind I mean the amount of users whenever it scales up. Like for instance, we have worked with a telco where there is a quiz app with lots of interesting features. So it was like now maybe it's 500 users, but all of a sudden we see that it can be like 10,000 users or 50,000 users. And with the leverage of Lambda, with API gateway, we and also in database like in DynamoDB. So schemaless database, we could handle any kind of I would say user into the system. So that is really beautiful, and we need to leverage that. It may happen that it can be partially it is hosted in a container, and the partial party services which are frequently used, so that you have minimum kind of management overhead there. And this is one thing very important, that normally what happens that for many cases we see that the solution might not be needed to 24/7. Like for instance, if we consider an ERP solution, we may see that like uh, they do need in office hour, and during the weekend they also don't need that, because all the users, they do use from office during the office hour. So for a case like we have seen that an ERP was hosted in cloud, they had like a X amount of bill, and whenever they have like what we did, like we tried to schedule with CloudWatch in combination of Lambda. So it goes down, the server goes down right after the office, and in the morning it goes up. So basically 40% of their time, they are basically, the server is up and running, and users are being able to use the relevant services, and the costing was like a kind of one third, because they without hampering any kind of user experience. So that is very important, that we do check how our business case can be relevant to different options AWS is offering. And so this is something I just shared, that we can check if it is relevant with your use case. We should use it, rather running it 24/7, which is not needed, or we can just make sure that we are using schedulers, so that we can stop it whenever it's not needed and run it whenever it is users are going to use it, something like that. Another thing is AWS Trusted Advisor. Like this is a real friend. Like you can always see like what's the current status. Like are you leveraging? I mean, are you have you provisioned more than the resource you need? And sometimes it may happen that you will see you have provisioned less than it is required. So so having this data, that will help you to come up with a proper sizing, proper type of instance, to make sure that you can ensure right user experience, and also in a optimized costing. So that is I think it's really important that we do that. We do look into this service to check the current status. And this is optimization resource, I mean, to check the current resource capacity. So optimization statistics, you can use that to check how you can where we can optimize it, and how you can come up with the right kind of resource to leverage AWS in a cost effective manner. Another thing is this is like you already know that you can see the report, different report we are from Trusted Advisor to take the right decision. Another thing is you already know that for many cases we know that you have predictable kind of use cases. So you can go for uh, your right kind of option. Like if you go for on demand, you see that it can be $315. But if you go for 1 year upfront, it goes like $181. And if you go for 3 years, it is like $162. So you can go for the right option which is relevant for you, so that you can have a more optimized billing. And another thing is like Esport instance. Like what happens, what we have seen, that many companies they are a little bit skeptical. Like if I look into the different enterprise, that they are skeptical about having sometimes that having a DevOps engineer or a cloud engineer, they feel that it is an additional expense for the company. But trust me, from our experience, we have seen that having a right kind of engineer in your team, technical team, can basically reduce the bill in such a way that even after his expense, the I mean, reduction of the bill is way more higher. So, for instance, you already know that for Esport instance, normally we do use for different computational and capacity. And recently, I have gone through a case where they have a mission critical kind of solution hosted in AWS, and they are doing it, managing it with Esport instance. How they are doing that? They are having proper kind of CI/CD, proper DevOps capacity, so that whenever an instance is going down, they are making sure another instance is rolling up, and to make sure that service is not interrupted. And even after having 1/3 more kind of instances in the pool, still they are like saving 60-70% of their costing in comparing with general kind of costing capacity. So this is very important that we do leverage Esport instance more to have to make sure that we are leveraging different services of AWS and having more optimized kind of use. And as I have shared that, this is very important that for Esport instances, you need to have like stateless kind of web application, and batch workload there, web servers there, high performance computing is a big case for this Esport instances, grid computing there, and media rendering. Like they have been leveraging this Esport instance heavily. So about case study, I would like to share a case study where it is about a company named PureShop. They are uh, an e-commerce company. They had like in barebone server, and they like what happened that when they had that server, they they had to go through lots of challenge. Like whenever there is a huge traffic, they had to shut down the server, they had to restart the server. And during the Eid holidays, they had to suffer a lot because the customer were not being able to do different orders. The server, the website was not running properly. So what they did, like they have migrated to AWS, and what we have done that we have refactored the application to make sure that we can leverage AWS in proper manner. We have used for cases, we have gone for reserved instance, we have gone for Esport instance as well, and we have used Lambda for different services, so that the overall costing even got lower eventually than their bare metal server costing. And the experience, like even having 8 to 10 times more traffic uh, than earlier, still the overall experience was like really amazing. So this is very the concept like that cloud is expensive, it is not real, it's not right. uh, like how you are leveraging the AWS services to reduce the cost, that is very very important. Another thing is if I consider another concern was that they had huge bandwidth, huge data transfer through CloudFront. So what we did that AWS does offer a kind of volume discount, and there are different partners who are like there to support you, like who does provide a discounted rate, so that the even having a huge data transfer, you can have a lower bill, so which can also helpful. So we need to check all the time. We need to make sure, we need to check what are causing the high costing for our infrastructure, and we need to work on that. For that we may need to do some changes, or refactoring the existing application, so that eventually we can leverage a right kind of costing which is preferred by the company. So that is very important, I assume. And another thing is normally what happens that whenever there is a there is an assignment to do something, normally we normally see that people are trying to be innovative with their kind of knowledge. What I felt that rather coming up with your innovation, first look into the best practices, like the problems we are facing, the similar kind of problems are faced by 100,000 people. So this is very important that we check that what are the best practices for your case, and you try to start from there. It may happen that that specific case is not 100% aligned with your case. That is absolutely fine, but start from something which is already proven one, so that you get a more mature kind of situation down the line. So in fact, I wanted to keep it very simple and short. That's why and I am ready to like answer any question you have, which might be helpful for you. So this is the last slide I thought for me from my end, and yep.
Thank you, Rahman, for the informative session. That was quite edifying. So the stage is now open for Q&A, and let's see if the audience has any questions. So we have a first question for you. If instances is unused for more than 1 week or few days, is there any way to generate an alert to reduce the billings?
So like what happens that whenever how do you know that if the instances are unused? Normally there are different metrics like CPUs or memories, something like that. So what you can do, like you can use CloudWatch, I mean, to check what's the like you can set a part there that if the CPU usage is used less than 20% for a specific instance, then you would like to terminate it. So you can do that, and Lambda function can be there, which will do the termination part, something like that. But it depends on case by case. Like one thing, please take the note that mostly the CloudWatch event and event bridge, it is called now, then I mean, Lambda, those are very relevant to do this kind of activities. Yeah.
Sure. We have another question. Since Lambda is up to 15 minutes, but as mentioned, we can scale as much possible. So will it not impact the time bound?
Time bound about what? I could not get that. Sorry. Dolly, I could not get your point. Like.
Yeah, so I'll repeat the question again.
Yeah.
Since Lambda is up to 15 minutes, but as mentioned, we can scale as much as possible. So will it not impact the time bound?
So it depends. Like we have seen that people do use like for different cases, step functions are there used. So most of the time, like like if it is beyond 15 minutes, normally step functions are used. So you can look into that option. Like.
Okay. So waiting for some more questions. I think so that's it. So thank you so much for all the wonderful answers and an informative session. Thank you.
Most welcome. Yeah. Thank you very much for your for arranging this. Thank you very much.
Build. Go. Build. Go. Build. Go build. There is no compression algorithm for experience. Def and test are the most important workloads. Dance like nobody's watching. 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 Encrypt like everyone is.